Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is Things I Learned with EG.Arteezy's Queen of Pain in 707. I know that EG announced that Arteezy is still playing carry, but there's so many replays of him playing mid from Tinker to TA to QOP that I don't really know. But anyways, this video is basically about a new playstyle that became popular this patch with some of the talent changes, item introductions, and more importantly, the focus on ancient farming. Ancient farming? Yes, QOP can farm those if you follow Arturito, and that's the way he found a way to win a game where his power spike got completely denied by Radiant's heroes. But we'll talk more about it as the game unfolds. The first thing I want to highlight in this game is this footage here. His Tusk and Rubik decide to gank Tinker mid, and this is one of those moments where you're 100% sure your support's fucked up. Look at that dive. Sand King gets a double burrow striking tower aggro range while Artur is blinded, so let's retreat, right? Fuck those crazy supports. Our Canadian boy though fake backs knowing that there's no burrow strike anymore, he's not under soul catcher, and Tinker has nothing else in his tank, and he's still going aggressive, see? Free kill for Artur, and thanks to the wand he survives. I'm pretty sure I did a guide on QOP in this patch already, but if you're not used to playing mid right now, this is the build right here. No early bottle, no early boots. For instance, if instead of wand and no talisman, Artur had bottle, he would be 100% dead here, since he had 97 HP at some point, and he wouldn't be able to reliably bottle in a fight. Quite basic, I know, but I still see a lot of QOPs and pucks just rushing bottle and chain feeding because they're not strong enough to these heavy team fights that we have in the early game. The extra damage and tankiness from these stats allows you to always trade well against supports, and it gives you some mana. I mean, you're a QOP, you're gonna need it. Afterwards, most QOPs will go for bottle and range drops. There's almost no game where you won't get value out of it, be it defensive or offensive wise. QOP is also one of the few mid heroes that still go bottle, by the way. TAs, Shadow Fiends, Pvgnas, and sometimes even pucks avoid the item, and the other heroes like Medusa, PLs, and snipers, they just don't need it. QOP is mobile enough to make use of it though, so mobile that his boots arrive at 8 minutes in that game. In this game, Arteezy rushes Orchid. Nothing new, this used to be a very popular build in the past, but at that time going Orchid meant going for pickoffs non-stop, killing everyone and the map control of the enemy team so that you could win early, because QOP had just a bunch of different weaknesses. One of them was not scaling in the late game. In this video, you will learn why, but we're going to spend a decent amount of time tackling the mentality that QOP is only a ganker and that there's no point in doing anything else. Look at the enemy team. Disruption plus Soul Catcher, Burrow Strike, Lasso, Tinker Burst. Provided Artur goes on anyone close to a tower, the chance that he survives after blinking is 0. He's only level 8 at this point, and the cooldown on blink is way too big. So he completely avoided going for quote-unquote ganks, as we know, and just played around what was happening in the map, farming non-stop when the enemy team was not playing aggressive. Take this fight for instance. Arteezy only gets there because they were fighting beforehand, meaning that he doesn't need to show his blink cooldown or just blink aggressive to the enemy team, and in this meta, that's how you have to play QOP most of the time. As they chase Batrider afterwards, pay attention to Arteezy. In theory, he could have jumped and slow bat, he also has ult, was relatively full mana, had 17 charges, but he doesn't go. Shadow Demon, Sand King, Tinker, they're all alive and there's a shrine there. As a low level Queen of Pain, you need to avoid as much as possible these initiation blinks, especially if you're against such a counter initiation type of lineup. And it's not like, oh, Arteezy is a farmer, he never goes for kills. He actually ended up 17-0 or something in this game. It's just that there's the right time to initiate, and against that team, those are very few in between. In this footage, he had vision of Razor Bottom, and the only reason he goes for this jump is that he got level 3 blink instead of the talent, and in fact, he goes for max blink before grabbing the extra damage. With the other builds that involve Veil, U-Scepter, you always get the strength talent at level 10, and you play more aggressive because you have the armor and HP to withstand those fights. With this playstyle, you're a glass cannon, and you have to play accordingly. So I'm a big fan that he maxes blink before getting more damage, especially because that damage only really shines when Orchid is finished, since as you can see, he would rather keep his no talismans than the staffs. He just waits the freaking raindrops to end. You can see that thanks to the lower blink cooldown, he can re-engage here safely, but he only does it when blink gets ready again, and obviously he walks up to Shadow Demon instead of blinking aggressively on him. That might sound stupid, very basic, but people really need to learn how to use blink properly. He eventually smokes with an ally, and I'm a big fan of how he approaches QOP's weaknesses. As he jumps aggressively here with no vision, he immediately turns to strength trides, just because if he gets caught with blink on cooldown, he would rather be tankier to survive. This is footage of a situation where aggressive blinking is fine. He has 2 allies with him, and after witnessing the TP, Artur knows that every subsequent one will take way too long to get there. This is technically a turning point in the game that will most likely surprise you. Orchid is finished, time to start diving people and forcing fights, right? After all, you can kill anyone now. The thing is, what Arteezy was worried about this game is not whether he could kill people or not, is whether they can counter-initiate and kill him afterwards. I can see a lot of people in a game like this just jumping anyone that shows up, getting the kill and dying afterwards in that Huskar fashion. What Arteezy does though is very different. Like, he tries to use Orchid as soon as he gets it, but Razor proves to be too strong. That being said though, he never jumped aggressively there. He walks up to Razor and disengages afterwards, like I pointed out countless times. He lingers around the fight and we see the same style. Walk to the target, and if he blinks aggressively, it's always a calculated blink like this one. This type of QOP is supposed to be a right-click monster. You get a damage talent and an attack speed 1 at level 15, and when you combine that with Orchid and Treads, you get a hero that can farm Ancients, and that's the key here. The old QOP, if tried to farm against heroes like Tinker, would never get enough out of the map to compensate the lack of kills. By the way, if to this point you feel like I'm over-exaggerating how hard of a QOP game this match is, watch this footage. Arteezy makes sure not to blink aggressively, and even then, he almost explodes if not for SG Liposa's beautiful hands. That being said though, Orchid is a peak of item, and with the sentry here showing there's no Radiant Vision on top of him, having vision of all Radiant heroes in the mid lane, he grabs a quick one here. This is another fight where Arteezy only survives thanks to Liposa's Brazilian insight. Being close to the favelas throughout his entire life taught this guy to repel before even getting close to the crack houses, and Arthur lives, showing a critical point in this game. To this point onwards, he farms his Lincoln Sphere in ancient camps, and that is possible because he also got to level 15. The amount of DPS QOP can output now is insane. During the entire game, even when his team played super passive, Arteezy maintained farm advantage over a Tinker. That was not something possible before the mana regen changes, which means that he's full mana and HP at all times, and the talents that let him farm 2, maybe even 3 ancient camps a minute while getting bounties and pushing waves. The thing to note though is not that Arteezy farmed on QOP because that's the best way to play QOP this patch. He did it because the enemy team was insanely hard to engage on, and at the same time, they played passively and as 5. If there's chaos around the map and 3 enemy heroes are fighting, then Arteezy can use his Orchid to gank the other 2 heroes around the map, or engage on the 3 initial heroes after the disables are used. In this case though, as we already saw, engaging all those 5 heroes is almost impossible. Unlike 1 year ago though, Orchid upgrades to an even better item and synergizes with his talents, so going for it and not using the item to get kills at all times is not a burden anymore. What would be a burden is trying to rush a BKB here to jump those 5 heroes. It could work, but it could also fail. If Razor was playing anti-mage or something insanely greedy, maybe that would be the best way to play this game. But since it's a Razor, Arteezy uses his ancient farming capabilities to engage Radiant on a late game power spike that QOP excels at. Arteezy gets mega lucky here. He finds Tinker that didn't really expect a QOP to show up, giving him a kill that propels his team to almost a team wipe. Shiva's Guard, in my opinion, was the best item possible here. Not only it synergizes greatly with his level 20 talent, it's the only item in the game that gives him vision in the trees besides wards to hunt Tinker. And you can see it being put to use here. This game was only longer because Batriders told their ages minutes before, but at least we get to see more of late game Queen of Pain. Tinker dies without buyback, and pay attention to QOP's talents. I can see a lot of people wanting to get the extra Lincolns since there are so many single target spells there, but not only the Fear is a TP disable for Tinker that he doesn't have yet, when you're dead ahead as a Queen of Pain, Fear works as a Hex or any other disable. It's super useful. When you max on magic damage with Mjolnir and Shivas, it's almost impossible to bring you down. You lifesteal from almost all of your damage sources, and here we see how Scream of Pain becomes this get out of jail card and disable at the same time. He almost kills SD with no efforts, and yeah, not sure if there's much to add here. Well guys, this is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. As of always, Pvgna supports this video. My Tinker guide is gonna be up pretty soon, so check the link in the description. I'm coaching via gamersensei, the link is down below, and I've upgraded all of my Patreon rewards, so if you like to support your content creators through that platform, check it out. I'm streaming every day. In fact, I will be streaming when this game is uploaded, so check it out. I'll try to play some Queen of Pain if I can. And yeah guys, hope you had a fantastic day watching this video. Bye!